guys. Questions for Coach Richt?
Okay.
All right, Mark, now that you've got one cycle with the early official visits in the book, so what do you kind of think about it?
Right.
How that worked out?
You know, we loved how the official visits worked last year, or the early signing date. We had a lot of guys, I think there was 18 guys maybe, that said they would sign on the early signing date. And the guys that said they would sign, we targeted them to come in December for an official visit. Kind of wait, don't do it in the season, just let's get everybody together on this December weekend, and then I think the next week was the signing date, and it was 100%. The guys that came, the guys that said they're going to sign. So it went as good as we could hope it to go. The other thing that's nice is the kids that come in at mid-year, kids that come in at January, they graduate early, they go to January, they never had a signing date before. It's always like just come to school, enroll, and you're in. But there's really no true time to have an official signing day. And so now that provides that for them. So, you know, we like it. And once that was over, there was a few more guys we were still working on towards February signing date. But we got to spend a lot of time looking at 19s, 20s, 21s, and things like that during that time of the year, knowing that these 18 guys were already signed, sealed, and delivered.
With the former players that are coaching, that you have, the group that you have here, what can you say about those guys in particular?
Well, let's see. Clinton Portis, Lamar Thomas, Bryant McKinney, I think, is on the way. Warren Sapp, Jonathan Vilma, John Beeson, Gino Toretta, and Michael Irvin are here or were here. Some of them spoke to we had segment meetings by position, and all those gentlemen spoke to the players that played the positions that they played. We introduced them to the big group, then we broke up into small groups. And they got a chance to talk to them. Some are staying through the camp. Most of them are more observing than coaching. There's, you know, some are allowed to coach, some aren't, just because of the rules that the state of Florida has, all that kind of stuff on background checks. Some took the time to do it, some just didn't have time to do it. So, but anyway, just, you know, over the last 3 years, it's just unbelievable the guys that have come and have blessed this program because they love it. It's just a cool thing.
Was there a message that stood out to you that they gave?
Well, I wasn't in the meeting rooms. I mean, we all split up by position, and each guy, like Warren Sapp was talking to the D linemen, Portis was talking to the running backs, and, you know, Lamar Thomas was talking to the receivers, and, you know, whoever else, you know, was at different positions were speaking to those guys. And then also, I'll bet there's 30 or more of our current players that are coaching as well. And, you know, we're allowed to hire those guys by rule, so it's pretty good.
What advantage do you feel like an event like Paradise Camp gives your program and having it 3 years now? Yeah,
well, just the name of the camp is indicative of how I feel about this place. It does look like a resort here. We do feel like we live down here in Paradise, and it's a place that's different, really, probably than any other Power 5 school in America. It's a great private school education. We're down here, got the vibe of Miami, all the beaches, all the things that are fun to do around here that they can do, and but be a part of a tradition that's, I can't say unmatched. Well, I'll say it is. It's unmatched. I mean, we've had some of the greatest teams in the history of college football, and you could probably pick about 3 of those national championship teams and say they were the best ever. So kids want to be a part of that.
I feel like the season you guys had last year has made recruiting a little bit easier now.
Yeah, I think you got to have enough success to give everybody faith and confidence that we know what we're doing and we're on the right track. And then when you see things like the brand new dorms coming out of the ground, $155 million project, that's huge for us because we were struggling in that area. The indoor facility is almost done. They're laying the field turf as we speak right now. We'll be practicing in it within a few weeks. Even our stadium, just fortunately for us, you know, a $500 million renovation over a 3-year period on Hard Rock Stadium. You know, things that were kind of hurting us in the past have become positives for us. Just our staff in general, our strength and conditioning, our nutritionists we hired. We're getting ready to hire a sports psychologist. we're doing everything within the rules to be able to develop our players as good or better than anybody in America, and they don't have to go anywhere to get what they need. If they go somewhere else, they like the school better, but it's not because they couldn't get everything they needed to be great in football, in school, and socially and spiritually as well.
Mark, you always have a lot of camps competing for the same group of really talented kids. You've got a ton of them on campus.
Yes, oh yeah.
With that said, can you almost sort of read into where a kid goes? Does it show he has a real interest in Miami?
Oh yeah.
Come down here from out of state?
Especially if they travel from out of state down here. They're very serious. And like you say, see, a year ago, the dead period in the summer was 2 weeks. So it was the last week of June and the first week of July. And so those next couple, 2-3 weeks, everybody could have these types of camps. So they were kind of spread out all over the Southeast or all over the country on different weekends, different days. Well, now this year we had a month-long, 4-week dead period, and this is the first weekend after the dead period. And then most everybody's starting practice next week. So everybody's having this weekend, everybody's doing something. And so we didn't really know what was going to happen, but we are very, very pleased with the talent base and the 2020, 2021 classes, even a couple 22s, really, really good players. So a lot of them that we've offered, a lot of them that have already committed, a lot of them that we're very serious about priority evaluations on. And you'll see this, there'll probably be close to 200 kids. You can have a camp of 1,000, I mean, you know, if you want. But we really were trying to target the very best kids that we think that really have a chance to become a part of this program, and most everybody came that we asked.
You like it better with the week or with the month dead period?
The dead period, you know, whether the 2 week or the month long, I think the month long is good. It's healthy for our coaches. I think it's healthy it gives us a chance to spend time with our players in the summer, our current players. I don't know if it's perfectly timed. I would probably say last 2 weeks of June and first 2 weeks of July might be better when it comes to camps and things of that nature, but maybe not. Everybody's on, some are on semesters, some are on quarters. So everybody would have a different opinion of when the best time is. But I'm not against a month-long deal, especially since, you know, we got a really good turnout. I mean, if it had got cut in half of what we thought, I might feel different.
Mark, with camps and stuff, you've obviously been to a number of them. What is it that you like to see when you're out here, when you're watching guys? What are you hoping to identify?
When we have our camps, two things are happening. One is we're evaluating guys. Well, number one, we're teaching. We're teaching all these recruits, all these young men, how we do things. Every position coach is coaching it exactly the way we coach it in Miami. So we're trying to help teach them football, number one. Number two, sometimes we're evaluating a guy, all right, and watching him against other great players and see him compete and try to make decisions on whether to offer or not. Some have already been offered, and those kids really don't have to prove anything to us, but a lot of those kids want to get coached by their coach. They're kind of testing us out, see how they like how we coach, you know. So there, you know, a lot of different things are going on right now. And the other thing I like is when our former players come back and our current players are here coaching with them, or at least being in the same room with them or rubbing elbows with some of the greats of all time, after they get over the fact that they're like, wow, this guy's really in front of me, they realize there's the brotherhood between them even now and the guys that played, you know, 25 years ago. So it's kind of a nice reunion for all of our players.
Let's do a couple more, guys.
Can you get some feedback from the former players in terms of getting a feel for maybe a guy's character or whatnot, the former players to help coach?
Well, no, they don't get involved in our decision-making process. They just get involved in supporting us when we ask them to help. We're like, hey, we need you to come, be here, talk to these kids, you know, get in their meeting rooms, possibly help them on the field a little bit. And they're like, Coach, just tell me what you need, I'll be there. A lot of them are around in the summer. A lot of them are around honorary captains during the season. And they have dinner with us the night before and talk to the team the night before. And they'll be on the sideline with us. And, you know, it's just great to have them around.
You mentioned the facility improvements, indoor practice
Yeah.
facility.
Right.
How much is that just you're stressed or pitched?
Well, one day when everybody gets in there, I think your jaw is going to drop a little bit when you get in there. It's really a beautiful facility. It's a Category 5 built building. It's got coaches' offices overlooking the fields. It's got all kind of surround sound. It's going to have a giant Megatron board in there. It's going to have space for the skill guys to work, space for the linemen to work. It's, you know, even the safety margins from the sideline to the wall is farther than any indoor facility I ever visited when I was, you know, prepping what was going to happen at Georgia, looking at some indoors back then. And it's a beautiful facility, and so thankful to Carol Sofer and her family and everybody who donated to the project. It's been awesome. We had former players give over $2 million as a group. I mean, it's pretty impressive what those guys did.
Awesome. Hey, thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming.